Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soberless channel, and this is Reina. Say hi, Reina. With my dog. But anyways, I'm going to be reviewing the Jeremy Lin shoe. This is probably what you guys will be referring it to as. But this is from a company called XTEP. It's a Chinese company. Never really heard of them until this shoe. And this is called the XTEP Levitation 4 Jeremy Lin Dragon PE or something like that. It's going for, well, this colorway is going for 115 bucks. And there's another colorway going for 110 bucks. And it's like this white colorway with like a really cool like frost, icy looking plastic wing, which I think looks a little bit better than this. But this shoe is also really dope. Like, I like the design of this shoe. It looks really cool. If you guys want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. It's from Famuji. But anyways, let's get it started off with the traction. So as far as the traction goes, I've only been playing on an outdoor court with them, and of course grip is really good. Outdoor courts, usually most shoes have really good grip because of like the surface. The surface is actually like rough, kind of like sandpaper, so it just grips really well. So durability is one thing I can tell you about from outdoor use. And I mean, there is a little bit of fraying here, especially here, like where the ball of your foot is here, and like also in the heel, like kind of like right here are like very high wear areas. That's where you start to see a lot of wear and tear from your outsoles. And I expected this to be a pretty good outsole for like outdoor use, but it doesn't seem like it. There is some fraying. I don't have anything like ripping off though, but there is fraying, and I'm a little bit worried about that. So watch out for that. Like the occasional outdoor use, or if you mainly play on an outdoor court, it should be okay. Not the best option for outdoor use, but it's not horrible, right? So you can probably switch off from indoor and outdoor if you want as well. But like, yeah, it's basically just a herringbone pattern throughout the entire outsole. And of course you have a little bit of decoupling, like kind of, not really. I mean, you still have a lot of the midsole kind of intact here. The only thing that they did was put like what they call an X support plate. So it's basically just a midfoot shank plate, and it kind of comes around and gives you lateral support as well here in the midfoot, which we'll get into. And it is cool because there is a hole that goes through it, and it looks like the Eclipse plate from the Jordan 34. Alright, moving on to the heel to toe transition. Is actually pretty nice. You know, you have a nice curved shape here in the heel as well as in the forefoot. You have a nice little flex as well in the forefoot. So overall it's pretty fluid and very smooth, you know? As far as the cushioning goes, there's really no like info on the cushioning setup. Just call it a XTEP foam, right? So as far as the foam goes, it's very stiff. Like even to the touch, it's very stiff. There's not a lot going on with the cushioning setup, you know? It is pretty thick in the heel, and I could feel a little bit of compression, but that's about it. I feel also like a little bit of a bounce. One thing I really like about the cushioning setup though is the insole. The insole is what makes it really comfortable, right? It's fairly thick, and it's basically like a cushioning kind of, you know? Like it has its own like foam, and kind of feels like React, you know, where there's a little bit of resistance, you know, like compression. So that's probably what I was feeling like in the heel. Like forefoot, it's a little bit thinner, but in the heel, it's actually pretty thick. And there is a pretty stiff struggle board as well. The cushioning was okay. I mean, like court feel was alright. You know, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't horrible. Impact protection was pretty good, I guess, you know, because, I mean, it is pretty thick here in the heel. So if you're doing like pretty hard heel strikes and all that, you should be fine. And I was playing on an outdoor court, so I need really good impact protection, right? So, I mean, definitely the cushioning was pretty lackluster. The only thing I like about it was the insole. Alright, moving on to the materials. The materials also aren't very nice. I mean, it gets the job done, right? On foot, once you put it on foot, like this material's fairly thin, and it moves really well with the movement of your foot. So you don't really have to worry about the materials like when you put on the shoe. But like as far as the quality goes, it's horrible, especially comparing it with like the KT5s. The KT5 low is like the same price for like $5 more, and you're getting full on knit. With this, you're getting like this, it's actually kind of like a textile material, but they put all of this freaking fuse over the toe box area. And then you have this elastic strap here, kind of like in the midfoot, forefoot midfoot, and that doesn't do anything. You have this like pull tab thing that you can't really use. What does this do, dude? It doesn't do anything. you can't pull it, like you can barely put your, I can't even put my finger through it, you know? And it's sharp at the edge, so you can't really pull up on it. You have a whole bunch of fused materials and stuff. I thought these were eyelets, but I guess you can use it as eyelets. I like the tongue though. The tongue is pretty well padded. I like that. And the tongue is basically a half-booty tongue, so it's connected to a material that goes underneath this material, so you have a better one-to-one fit. The tongue stays in place and all that, you guys already know. In the ankle area, you have a good amount of padding, and it's actually a very nice lining material. I like it. It's like a very smooth neoprene type of material, has a nice stretch to it, and you have some very nice Achilles pillows, which feels nice. Every shoe, every basketball shoe should have Achilles pillows. I guess you can't really complain, like $110. But like, you know, the quality is not there. Like usually I don't really care, but it feels extra like cheap. So there's the materials there. As far as the fit goes, the fit, I went true to size and it runs really long. Like very long. So I would suggest going down half a size, maybe even a full size. Like it was pretty damn long. And toe space, I can't really tell you guys because it was long. But from this shoe, it was pretty snug. So I feel like if I went down half a size and it was a good fit for me, I feel like it would be pretty snug in the toe area. And width-wise, I would say from this shoe, it was like a little wide. So it wasn't a very good fit for me, but I did put an insole in and double sock. And once I did that, you know, I pretty much fixed it right up. But of course, that came at the cost of worse court feel, right? As far as support and lockdown goes, I didn't really have any issues. Like for lateral containment, you have this crazy plastic counter here in the midfoot. You have like an internal TPU heel counter and all this foam here in the heel. But the forefoot, not as much. I felt my pinky toe and like my forefoot just kind of come out of the footbed just a little bit. But other than that, it was good. You have an outrigger. It's a very wide base and you're pretty low to the ground in the forefoot. The heel is where you're pretty high up off the ground. So I had no lateral instability. And of course, this is low, so you're not really getting any ankle support. One thing I love about the shoe is like the very high heel tab, and it's very well padded, so it's super comfortable, like where your Achilles is, so that feels nice, and it's super easy to put on because it is a very high heel tab. And then as far as the weight goes, yeah, the shoe is pretty damn heavy. There's a lot of plastic, you know, there's a lot of materials, a lot of fused materials and all that. So I remember like what, it was like 15.7 yeah, 15.77 ounces, and let's check the left pair. 15.87 ounces, so super freaking heavy shoe. Like it's kind of weird because like it doesn't feel that bulky, you know, like in the forefoot this material is really thin, but here in the ankle area is where it gets very robust. Like there's a good amount of padding here in the ankle area, and like all this cushioning, all this rubber here probably adds a lot of weight. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty heavy shoe. It's actually a very heavy shoe, and that's like LeBron range heavy, right? LeBrons are that heavy. So, and this is a low. It feels minimal like on top of your foot in the toe area, but like it feels pretty bottom heavy and like bulky kind of here in the heel area. As far as the ventilation goes, this shoe is pretty warm. I mean, if they kept the fuse kind of like not in the toe area and they just kept it a textile, it probably would have been a little bit better, but like, you know, just not very nice. But you guys know fuse doesn't really have airflow, and the tongue, there's really no airflow either. It's a pretty well padded and pretty thick tongue. So ventilation is actually a really warm shoe. As far as the aesthetics go, I mean, the aesthetics are really dope though. I really like it. Like when you look from like kind of far away, it's a great looking shoe, but then when you like get close to it, you're like, eh. But anyways, you know, overall aesthetics though, I like it. I feel like it's a pretty good looking shoe. All right, wrapping things up, 110 bucks, pretty cheap. Or this colorway is 115, but yeah, no, I didn't like playing it. You know, it's too heavy. It's a little too bulky. The cushioning wasn't like that nice. It was okay. Material quality, like I said, it gets the job done, but it's not very nice. And even on outdoor court, it's not very durable. So yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to recommend, guys. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like playing this shoe that much. So hopefully Jeremy Lin's next shoe is a little bit better, or a lot better actually. And I believe I remember seeing some leaks on his next signature shoe, which I believe was like all knit, if I remember correctly, right? So I mean, I guess this was a pretty good first attempt at his like first signature shoe, I guess. I don't know why it's called the Levitation 4 when we haven't seen his first signature shoe yet. But because like he was with Adidas for a long time, right? He was with Adidas. He was wearing the Crazy Light Boost, and like I believe maybe even the Crazy Explosive. But you know, he got signed with XTEP. and he got his own signature shoe, which is super dope. So anyways, hope I helped you guys out with the information. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.